Man, what a great opening theme song.
Yeah, thank you, Tony Smith, for helping us kick off every 99-cent show with a bassy bang. I am Kronik, this is the Captain, and we are here May 10th. And we got a hell of a show lined up for you blues fans and music fans galore, actually. So,
well, what we decided to do when we first got the 99-cent show going, down here at the Stump, we had our issues, the power, the lights, all that stuff. Well, we couldn't get the sound lined up, but now we do. It's all running smooth. So we thought, for the benefit of you and us, because we're the music lovers in this place, that we bring back some of the great players that we had play on the show, and give them a chance to play when all the stuff actually worked, and you could enjoy it too. So tonight we got Goldtop back. It's a blues show tonight,
and I'm really excited because I was out of town when Goldtop played last time, so I didn't actually get the full audio experience, and I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, you did it by remote control from the TV.
Yes,
yeah, which was pretty funny.
We already blasted out a little preview of Goldtop and Tony doing a little a warm-up set all over social media, so we've already got quite a few viewers. So
really,
thanks for
quite
tuning in,
a few,
everybody.
as in more than two?
More than two.
Wow.
All right.
Thank you very much. I guess they don't want to talk to us then, so I suppose I should, find those guys.
Indeed.
Since the Captain does all the work here on as far as the, control room stuff goes.
I need to learn more. You need to teach me, Obi-Wan.
That's a scary thought. There we go. Lighting, everything.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Goldtop and Tony Smith.
All right.
Hey, everybody.
We're doing the double box show tonight. That way we can see you, you can see us, and everybody can see us both. Man, it's a pleasure having both you guys back on the show.
Indeed.
Oh, it's great to be here, my friend.
I see you brought a different guitar.
I did. I just got this, and it's like a new toy. It's nice and light, and I was traveling light this weekend, so I thought it would work, nice for the first show.
That's American made, right? You said?
Yes.
Oh, what a rare baby.
It was a gift.
Oh, yeah?
It was a gift.
Oh, really? How'd you get it?
A guitar player friend of mine, I was telling him I was going to buy one if I ever got enough money. And he said, "You kidding? Come on, follow me to my house. I'll give you one right now."
Wow.
The generosity of musicians.
And he did, yeah. And I waited like a month to wait and make sure that he wasn't going to call me and say I wanted that. And then I took it all apart, man, and I really worked the hell out of it and changed some parts. And, I made it a little project, so I'm fascinated. I never had one. You know what I mean? I played the Goldtop for 53 years now.
Wow. Yeah, you were telling us that's yours originally, right?
Yeah, I bought it new in '67. Yep.
You got it insured, don't you?
No, hell no, What's that?
Wow, because that thing's got to be worth...
I do have guns.
Oh, well, that's a good insurance
That's
policy.
insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works in today's...
And you never know with these little GPS bugs these days, man. You just don't want to take nobody's guitar nowadays. You could,
Abso-friggin-lutely.
Unless you're going to take it inside Mount NORAD or something. I'll get you.
Well, now, you guys play together in a band. Most people don't know that because, the other show isn't up there. So we got to go through this again. So you guys play together in a band here in town, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where do you guys play?
We play together whenever we get a chance.
Yeah.
Because in town here, gigs that pay money rule everything.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a musician in this town, you're suffering and underpaid. I don't give a fuck what kind of job you got in this town. You're suffering, you're underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So all the players play with each other all over the friggin' place, whatever we can get. You know what I mean? But me and Tony have had the good fortune of playing together on a regular basis for the last year or so.
Nice.
Now, how did you guys hook up? Did you get recommended by somebody or something?
Well, I have a band that I usually book, the Goldtoppers.
Uh-huh.
And it's three guys, the bass player and the drummer. Well, the bass player and I are really good friends, and he does a great job. He brought Tony one night. He introduced me, said if I ever can't make a gig, which he sometimes can't, Tony is somebody I could call.
Mm-hmm.
And so I called him, and I called him up for gigs that he didn't want. You know what I mean? And now we're like, we grew up together on different corners.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now you guys have a regular gig you play, right? At one of the blues places, Tony, you tell me?
The Double Down Saloon, once a month.
Okay.
It's the third Wednesday of every month.
So if somebody wants to come out and see you live,
Oh yeah, that's the one I highly recommend because that's my kind of place. It's fucking wild. It is fucking wild. So we don't start until midnight.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Old
that way-
school.
And that way we get the service crowd, who are really the wild motherfuckers in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
You
buddy.
know what I mean? And it rocks out, man. Sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's having a good time, man. Wild women. What more could you ask for?
That's right. Good
You know what I
music,
mean?
wild women, and cheap booze.
Right, and we're playing our hearts out up there.
that almost sounds like Vegas and Reno from the old days.
Yeah.
I mean, long before you started in radio, when I was in radio at KLZ Zip in Reno during my 20s, there was a nightclub that didn't open its doors until midnight. The band didn't start playing until 2, and they
Right.
played till 10 in the morning.
That's
Because just
right.
like you said, they played for the service crowd.
That's right,
And at 4
man.
o'clock in the morning, that place was
Hopping.
packed.
That's right. Hey, do you know anything about the South Jersey Shore, like Atlantic City down to Wildwood and Cape May?
Only a
area?
little bit. I was there
Well,
for about 6
there-
months.
When I was in my around 20 years old, there was a place that was it was the Dunes Till Dawn. It was called, and I'm trying to. I think that's Summers Point, that comes out there and when you cross the bridge, it was dry. When you get out onto the beach island, you know what I mean? So all the clubs were there in Summers Point, and they had this one, the Dunes Till Dawn, and it probably held 6,000, 7,000 people.
Wow.
Okay, and they would have bands in there that started at 1 o'clock, but they opened at midnight. And they started, and they, that was back when to date it, the big rage that year that really sticks out in my mind was Ziggy Stardust. You know what I mean? And all the girls had the fucking 10-foot tall fucking heels and haircuts. You know what I mean? And Ziggy Stardust was on in the club.
Funny.
And the bands were rocking, man. They were covering that shit. It was pretty good time, man.
See, you
But,
know what a lot of people don't understand is earlier, 15, 20, 30 years ago, you might know this because I think you were around here back then. A lot of the casinos had casino lounges that, were opened up to the casino, so it wasn't part of it.
Right.
And they had bands playing 24/7.
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest gigs in the world is to 4 in the morning till 10 in the morning,
Yeah.
or 6 in the morning till
You're right.
noon gig,
Right, man.
where you're playing to an
Big
empty
gigs.
casino.
I'm glad I never played those kind of gigs.
Oh,
but,
the
they were
Peppermill
definitely
in
out there.
Reno was those poor people, man. They had one of those little sunken bar things,
Right.
at the end of the casino thing where it dropped down the end of the casino
And
floor.
then a cabaret stage.
Cabaret stage up there, open to the stage. Oh, they had this poor lounge act in there that worked literally from 4 till 11 in the morning, 5 days a week.
Yep.
I mean, that's a hardcore musician.
That's a hard hit, yeah, man.
Yep.
You have to
Dude.
make sure you get your rest for those.
Yeah, but see, even those are all gone. We were talking about that the other day on
Yep.
one of our shows. It's
Right.
like all of that kind of music is gone. They don't use music as a lost leader like that anymore to
They
keep
don't,
people in the
man.
door and stuff.
Yeah, but I think they killed each other. It's kind of like back in the good old days, right? It became if you had band playing in your lounge, you had someone staying in your hotel, and for the bands it became like, how can I trash this room? Okay, and then it became not cost effective at all. It became ridiculous for
Right.
these guys to hire bands. You know what I mean? They had to hunt for alternatives. You know what I mean? But bands kind of killed it too because they didn't keep it fresh. You know what I mean? The entertainment directors and shit that made them cover every fucking thing. You're rattling the fucking plates in the next room, turn it down. you know, all that kind of shit that they used to run hard, man.
Yep.
Still do, really.
They still do.
Yeah, you know. And
They
that's-
just do it to DJs and
it
the small
kills
bands.
the music, you know what I mean?
I don't
Like,
know.
what-
Tony had that problem with the, was it the Mirage that they put in all the, that was one of the first places you ran into where that casino stage. Remember you guys were stuck in that corner? Remember I saw you guys
Yeah.
as part of that bar? Everything was all direct.
Yeah, most of the stages
It was
were
all
after
set.
spots,
The sound was
yeah.
set. That was it. You couldn't turn it up. That
Nope.
was the way it is.
Yep.
And they just
They
walk
didn't
away.
design the lounges for bands. You know, they
Yeah.
say, oh, okay, the stage. Oh, well, just put it over there. You know,
We're short a server. That
Yeah,
that
that's-
section's
yeah, right.
open. Put the band there.
Yep.
the next thing you know, you're a band coming in, you know, and you're like this on this stage. And
Banging
then
necks,
You have
yeah.
everybody, all the tables and slot managers all mad and stuff because
You're
they
too
think
loud.
the band's too loud, you know. But
Well, speaking of the band,
Let's get you guys playing.
yeah, we were talking about having a blues night tonight, and you guys, since you guys do play together, a little bit of a jam session thing. So why don't you guys play something for us?
We're gonna jam away, man.
All right.
All right, ladies
Tony
and gentlemen,
Smith and
Tony
Goldtop.
Smith and Goldtop.
right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Tony Smith and Goldtop live from the Stump in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm not going to stop.
Be my guest. Go ahead.
I'm not
It's a
gonna
blues
stop the-
show. You guys are playing.
Let's go to G.
Goldtop and Tony Smith. That's some good stuff
That's
right
the
there.
blues.
That is the
That's
blues.
the blues right there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir. I will stand by that.
That was amazing, dude. I'm speechless. I'm sitting here like,
Thank
know,
you very much.
messing
Thank
with
you
the
very
lights
much.
and watching
Well-
you and just, wow.
Tell me about your history. I mean, you obviously said you've played your other guitar for 53 years. Like,
Yeah,
when did you pick up a guitar for the first time?
I don't know what time is it. Yeah. You know, I started. I was 8 years old, and my parents rented me a guitar
Mhm.
from the studio place that I went to once a week for a lesson,
Right.
half-hour lesson.
Mhm.
And started out with me and the kid I played with all my life that lived right across the street, my tricycle buddy.
Right.
And we cooked up the idea one day that if he went with me to my parents and asked, I would go with him to his parents and ask. Other than that, I can't remember what the fuck we were thinking of. You know what I mean? This is years before the Beatles.
Right.
You know what I mean? When the Beatles came out, I had a band myself in school.
Mhm.
We played the Benchers, you know, shit like that.
Yep.
You know? And yeah, man, so it's just been, you know, I'm not a smart guy, you know, but I got this, and it's taken me places I would have never gone otherwise,
Mhm.
this place included.
Well.
You know what I mean? So my life is just a big joy, you know what I mean, because of the damn thing, you know?
Indeed.
Did music run in your family?
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't know of a single musician in either side of my family tree.
Wow.
Yep, not a single one.
That's
know.
unusual.
Now, I got some stories. I mean, there's some characters in there, don't get me wrong. You know, I got lots of damn characters, you know. So I guess I'm just another division of that, you know. Because, you know, you can't be a character if you're just like the other one, right?
Exactly.
You know.
Who was one of your main influences? Is there somebody that?
Well, my first teacher was a Jewish guy from Philadelphia that was probably about 30 years old, that was a graduate with like a master's, I believe, in music from Temple University, which is right there in Philly. And he was, you know, he had his guitar was an ES 175, like a late 50s model, like the real jewel. You know what I mean? And to this day, I never played a guitar that felt as good as that. You know what I mean? I'll never forget what that guitar was like. Like, it's a rare bird, you know what I mean? That, you know, that Cadillac Gibson thin slim taper neck, you know,
Right.
with the big flat wound strings, you know. And the action, you know, like you can't see no light coming through, man. You know. And he was bad. So he was like in the jazz, you know, his crowd was jazz. So I'd come into my lesson, and he'd be sitting there playing like the work song. You know, but like all chord melody shit, you know, like Charlie Bird or something, you know what I mean? And then, you know, he'd stop, you know what I mean? He didn't want to give me too much of that shit. And he wouldn't teach me any of that shit, okay? But I stayed with him for like, I guess about 6 years, until I was well into my teens, okay? And he took me to my first show in 1967, which was James Brown and the Flames.
Oh my
At
God.
the Latin Casino
Yeah.
in Camden, New Jersey.
Yeah, that was
You
some
know,
funk,
and-
soul music.
And you know.
That was your
dude,
very
man,
first show?
That was the first live show I ever saw.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
What a great way
Legendary,
to start.
yeah.
And let me tell you, man, we were the only two white people anywhere near the fucking place. And it's in the, and it was in a white area, you know what I mean? The Latin, cause it was a mob joint, you know, like one weekend
Right.
they had Barbara Streisand there, the next week they had the Supremes there, this week,
Wow.
you know, they had fucking James Brown and the Flames there. And man, that was the coldest shit to this day I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was at his peak. You know what I mean? And that alone was something to see. But the tightness of that band, and the coolness of those sounds, like, and the arrangements. I mean, this shit was snake oil, man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It was pure fucking snake oil, and the crowd there, like, man, this was like a rough fucking inner city Camden black crowd that, you know, they bought tickets. You know what I mean? And you know, people were standing on tables. You know what I mean? Dancing. You know, it was
A real
great,
party.
man. It was my immersion. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? And the next show I saw was B.B. King.
Whew.
And when I saw B.B. King, I had never heard him yet.
Mhm.
But this teacher told me when I asked him about the blues, he said, "No, I won't teach you that shit." He said, "But if you want to hear the best," he said, "the best in the blues is B.B. King." Okay? And then I saw his name up on this appearing next week thing, and I was like, "Dudes, now we're going next." And we went, right? And there was nobody there. Nobody knew who B.B. King was. I was 67 also.
Mhm.
Okay? And he came out. We were sitting like right on in front of the stage on this little carpet. You know, they had a carpet in front of the stage, and then they had bench seating, you know. And he came out with his overcoat and his hat on and his guitar, and opened the guitar case and set the guitar up himself. Okay? And when I saw him doing that, I go, hey, you know, I didn't know it was him, but I thought it was. You know what I mean? You know, I could just tell.
Right.
And I go, "Hey, BB." And he turns around and he looks at me, you know. And you could see it on his face, because for him at that time, unbeknownst to me, you know, his new manager, Sid Seidenberg, was crossing him over to white audiences.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And that was like, you know, that was a joint venture of theirs when they got together. See? And that was the front edge of that. And you could tell that when B.B. King looked over, it was like, who is this 12-year-old white kid who knows who I am? You know what I mean? and he put his guitar down. He came right over, man, and knelt down there, shook my hand. We talked for a couple minutes, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That,
was
I'll bet that
amazing.
made an
And
impression.
I still had never heard him yet.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Then the fucking show started. Man,
Wow.
it was a baptism.
Mhm.
You know? Yeah.
That must have been a sight to see. I mean, in here for
Yeah.
a 12-year-old.
Oh yeah, man.
'Cause I-
oh man.
I didn't get to go to a concert until I was like, what, 17, 18.
Right, right. Oh no,
So-
man. You know, nobody can keep up with me and tie me down, man. I was running the damn streets all over Center City since I was 9 years old, man.
Yeah.
Learned to swim in the river. Knew kids on both sides. Knew parents too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know, it was like, fuck no.
Yeah.
You know, and then because we were a little faster than my older brother's set, you know what I mean? They were late 50s, the hot rodders and shit, you know. But we were way slicker than them, man. We were stealing their liquor. You know what I mean? Fucking, you know, and then we had, you know, Atlantic City as soon as Philly closed. You know, you just jump in the car 1 hour, phew, Atlantic City Expressway. 2 bars open 23 hours a day, year round. You
Yeah.
know? Real wild fucking joints too, man. You know what I mean? And but yeah, I don't know. Don't get me started, man.
It sounds like you live like a movie kind of like
Yeah.
life.
You know, and I
Something
don't
that-
know how, man. I try to stay home and read a book. You know,
Didn't sound like
go
it.
to bed early, eat my vitamins. This shit just falls in front of me.
Trouble finds me. I know that
It's
feeling.
not my
I-
fault.
I think
It
I'm a-
just happened.
I think I'm a blues man.
There you go.
Well, that being said, you guys want to play another one?
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
We love it.
All
Hell
right.
Yeah. Let's play that minor thing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Tony
No,
Smith
let's play it.
and
Play a
Goldtop.
minor thing in G minor. friend.
Got it, brother. That's the blues.
Blues, man.
That is the blues, ladies and gentlemen. Goldtop and Tony Smith on the
Absolutely
99
amazing.
Cent Show.
Indeed.
That is a blues jam.
Thank you.
We were talking about that earlier, you know, about that there's only so many different chords and so many progressions you can play.
Right.
So how can you create original music based around that? And you were saying it's like we were talking about the difference between it's the melody, it's not necessarily the lyrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what determines it because
Well, I think it's a combination of
I
both
think
the
there's
lyrics.
a million notes out there, right?
Yeah.
But there's 3 or 4 of them that I like the best. So much so that every time I open my mouth or play the guitar, that's what comes out.
so you've got
You
your
know what I mean?
you've got your
Like-
whole life staked out on those 4
like
notes.
I saw a guy the other night on PBS that he was some Asian guy who was playing a grand piano in like the, you know, one of the big opera houses. Everybody had on a tux and all that, you know.
Right?
And it was a Steinway grand. And man, this kid, and I say kid, he looked like a teenager. And he was ripping this thing, both hands, like ripping it, and nonstop through this, you know, classical piece. I don't know what, you know, I don't
Right.
know what it was, but it was music that was over there. Like, I don't do that. You know what I mean? He's got his own, you know what I mean? But it was, man, I had the highest regard for it, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't mind hearing it because he was so freaking good at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know his name, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm an ignorant bastard, you know, the ugly American, you know.
Well, don't worry. This is the web, so you don't have to worry so much about
you know,
that.
I ain't sweating it, you know what I mean? But it was interesting to me that I to make the point that my music has 4 notes that I like the best, and that's what comes out. You know what I mean? Whereas I see other people that, you know, they may have some bass range or whatever, but it's over there, or it's over there. You know, and I love it. I love it all. Hell, I think everybody should play.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Same here.
So is there a certain kind of blues, style of blues you like to play, or do you like to do it all? Because there's all kinds of blues.
I like the blues
Hold on, I'll
that
be
are
right back.
like right now here. You know what I mean? Like I hate to like try to cover a song or a style. You know what I mean? When I got my own goddamn blues, and that's what I play. You know what I mean? So I like to just get around another players that have that skill set. They like, you know, the people that understand the 4 notes that I like the best. Like Tony.
Right.
And when I find somebody like that, man, it's like, ooh, wow, yeah, cool. This is cool. You know what I mean? Because it's hard to find. It's great players, but you got to find the ones that know. You know, it might not be the same kind of person as you. They understand the 4 notes that I understand. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I can work with that. You know what I mean? Like, I can work with that, man. It gets me going. That's the blues.
So do you guys like doing the up-tempo stuff as well as the slower stuff? or
Yeah,
just-
hell, I got stories, man. I could go fast or slow. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but what's really good is blues is not a past art form. Blues is right today. It never stopped because some record store manager wanted to count all the blues motherfuckers and put them away over there and go home to Martha. You know what I mean? That's what that shit's all about. The blues is just as real today as it ever damn was.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like there's all kind of people out there that got the damn blues. You know what I mean? Albert King said everybody had the blues, right? And I believe that shit. You know what I mean? If you ain't never had the blues, then hell, don't stand too close to me. I don't want to be collateral damage when you get ketchup.
Right.
You know?
All right, I got a question for you now. Before the show, we partaked in a little bit of the legal Nevada cannabis market.
Oh, that's right. That was my first time. And yeah, that stuff's really crazy, man. I could get used to that.
Yeah?
Yep.
You don't
Yeah.
have any good stories about the history of music and how, like, I don't know, like a lot of people, especially throughout the music industry, it's been pretty prevalent. You know what I mean? So what's your history with music and cannabis? Because a lot of people I know
Well-
are interested.
Well, in the '60s, it was really like a gateway into music situations that were the ones I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, even though I wasn't a good musician or just a little kid, if I came with the best weed, you know what I mean?
People paid attention.
Yeah.
People let you in the door.
And like I said, man, I ran wild all up and down all them areas
Mm-hmm.
when before I was even thinking about a driver's license.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of mind-boggling to me now the people that I knew and was around. You know what I mean? But and that area, that was a window in time. You know what I mean? Like South Florida in the early '70s.
Yeah.
Right. If you lived on the beach in South Florida in the '70s, and you were just a jogger going, sooner or later you
would find
jog
cocaine
up on a bale of pot, that washed up on the beach.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was that window in time. You know what I mean? But by the '80s, fuck, you get your ass killed. If you touch that bag. You know what I mean?
Well, that was cocaine by that point.
Seven guns you'd be getting shot at 7 different ways. You know what I mean? But back then, and that was just a window in time. There's a lot of stories from that era, because I got caught up in that my damn self. You know what I mean? But I thought it was a rich time and a rich area to be in, a window in time. You know what I mean? Like, it opened up, it closed. In like 10 years or less. But it was wild as hell, man. You know what I mean? I had people that, like, from all over the country flew in, got a motel room, checked a golf bag or two, stuffed full of cash money, okay? Got themselves a motel room. I went to the bar that night and asked around if anybody knew where to get a couple $100 of weed or a pound of coke. You know what I mean? And so, if you lived there, it was no stretch to just know that every place that had everything.
Right.
And what the price was. And you could easily pray, which I did,
Do you think your music was better, like, when you were high? Did you enjoy music more after getting stoned?
I thought that for many years. And, I really did. I mean, I guess most of my adult life, I've been high, but I mean, there was many situations. Like I worked with a band in South Florida for like 9 years. That everybody else in the band was straight.
Right.
They were all older, and we played like Ty Yellow Ribbon and Tony Bennett medley.
Yeah,
and
the classic big band
Elvis
stuff.
Medley, and if I got caught smoking weed on the gig, I got fined.
Fine.
Got fined, and it was the only money I had coming in. When I found this gig, I was living on the beach. Okay, I had my shit stored over somebody's house, and I was living on the beach, man. And I got this gig with these older cats, and they only played one-nighters. Like, they only played at like the Breakers Hotel,
Okay.
Fountain Blue Hotel. Like only one-night events. But this was the early '70s. I made a lot of money. I've never left the house and made like $350. Now I can't even get $350 for the band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a long goddamn time ago. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, it was but I smoked anyway. Oh, I smoked all the way through it. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And in the end, I converted the leader of the band that used to find me, and he went into business with me. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get a rebate on your fines?
Yeah, I was about to say, he better pay it back.
All things, done and look in the rearview mirror, I'd have been better off to go to Dishwashing Academy
But would you have had as much fun?
Oh, well, you know, I
Hell
don't know,
no.
man. You
Hell
know what I mean?
no.
We'll never know. You know what I mean? But, you know, dollar for dollar, you know. And also, you know, there was a lot of fun shit, but that was by the end of my run, my nerves were so fucked up. You know what I mean? I was one flew over the cuckoo nest, you know, all the way.
That gig life will do that to you.
And in the end, when I was out, I lost every fucking bit of it. I lost the wife, the kid that came along with it, you know, everything, every fucking thing. And I was still just short enough that I had to get the fuck out of South Florida.
Yeah.
You know, and that was 1982.
But you didn't lose your Goldtop guitar.
And the only reason that I didn't lose the Goldtop was because I wasn't using it at the time, and it was all taken apart in the case. And it was all beat to hell. I mean, when I got it, I chiseled holes in the front. You know, it's nothing like it used to be. But it was bad, and I don't know, it was meant to be. Shut up. You know?
Well, we're getting about that time
we got
now.
about 5 minutes left.
Oh,
so.
what we want to talk about, though, well, wait, we're going to have you guys play one more song, but we want to talk about the fact that one of our first actual concert series that people are going to actually be able to rent and stream and take a look at is going to be with Goldtop and his band. So we're going to be shooting that in the next week or two.
Live from the stump.
Live from the Stump, the intimate concert series featuring Goldtop and Tony Smith. So be looking for that. That'll be on our website as part of our first little 99-cent catalog item. We got several more scheduled. I'm
Also,
excited.
the Blues Highway is going to be going up on the Radio Defectors store. We're going to be putting some of your Blues Highway CDs up. You were saying.
We didn't talk about those because we just got so sucked into all this. But back in the day, I don't know, this is going on 15, 16 years ago, I guess now. I had a deal with Universal, and I used to tour the country recording blues festivals. And I put out a series of live albums called Along the Blues Highway. I recorded probably 400 artists in like 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And we put out a series of records. Universal bailed on me, though, because I had this great idea about putting out an end cap. You know the problem with one of the problems with the blues is because it doesn't get a lot of radio airplay. People don't know who these people are.
Right.
So my whole concept with this thing that they just didn't buy into was the idea that instead of putting out individual blues artists with individual names on a series, what I wanted to do is like what Time Life was doing at the time, where I wanted to put out a series of blues records that were all numbered. So if you bought number 5 and you liked it, then chances are you might buy number 3 or you might buy number 8 and make it into a series so that the onus wasn't all put on the artist to try to break the record because in effect that's what you're doing. So the first 2 records, they bought into it, but they never went into the end cap thing. So they had me do the Little Milton record, which, you know, was up for Grammys and all kinds of stuff from what I heard. I never followed up on it, but I probably should have. But at the end of the day, after that, you know, they came to me and said,
he was the bomb, man.
yeah, man, I got the last live record.
Will Milton, he was the bomb.
I did the last live record he ever did. It's on my label.
You know, wow. You know, what a... Probably the most underrated, most unknown, greatest bluesman of them all.
I got a double CD with Little Milton,
you know,
on one, and Mighty Sam McLean and Reverend Raven and the Chain Smoking Altar Boys on the other one.
Right.
And it is a killer double record.
Yeah, man. That walking the back streets and crying.
Yeah, they're going to be up on their web as part of our catalog,
you know,
and then
I heard that a million people do that song, but nobody can do that walking the back streets and crying. Like Little Milton, you know.
He was a good guy.
When he goes, that was too much for me.
when I recorded that,
you could see the fucking tractor sitting over there. You know what I mean?
When I recorded him, it was at the Kalamazoo Blues Fest. He was the headliner. So I got my motorhome. So when I had my motorhome and my recording studio in the back of my motorhome, so I'm sitting there recording all the other bands, and I get this knock on the door, and it's his manager / guy. He knocks on the door and says, "Hey, Milton wants to talk to you." I said, "All right." Now, at the time, I was just doing audio recordings, and I had a contract, a couple different contracts with the bands because some bands were signed to record labels. So I couldn't do anything with them. So I wouldn't record those guys. But the unsigned bands, I'd record them and either make a deal to put them out, or if they were signed to like an independent label for an album or 2, I would hold on to it until they got independent, and then we could work a deal and put it out. So I go into Milton's bus, and Milton sits me down. And he goes, all right, so what are you doing here? And I explained the whole idea of the Blues Highway and stuff like that. He says, all right, so who's backing you? And I said, nobody, man. What? I said, no, it's just me, my motorhome, and my idea. I'm recording this. He looked at me for about, I don't know, a good 2-3 minutes of silence. And then he busts out laughing. He says, shit, I'm in, dude. He said, anybody that'll go out and do this like this, shit, I'm in, no problem.
Nice.
So he had one more, he was in between deals. So, you know, I lucked out, you know, and got him. So I got a great live recording of him at Kalamazoo.
Nice.
And then I got some other stuff. You know, I mean, I should go back in that archive and see if I could make some deals with some of the people that I recorded. Because for blues fans, man, I got Coco Taylor, Bobby Rush, Big Jack Johnson.
Oh, damn.
You know, all those guys from that era. There was about a 4-year stretch where I went to, I don't know, probably 25, 30, 35 blues festivals. Like I went to the Clarksdale, the Delta Blues Museum Festival.
Wow.
I went there all 3 years. One year I was running 2 recordings. Morgan Freeman has a little blues nightclub right next to the stage there.
Right.
Right,
Well,
so
know,
I'm recording the main stage,
B.B.
and then I'm
King-
running indoors recording in there too.
You know, B.B. King's drummer for like 20-some years, Sonny Freeman.
Yeah,
That's Morgan Freeman's oldest brother.
I met those
I
guys
didn't know
when
that.
they were down there during that blues fest.
Yeah.
That was crazy. They were laughing their heads off at me because I got the recording truck outside. That's when I'd converted over to this U-Haul truck I was using as a recording studio. It's parked at the side of the stage, and I'm running a recording there. But I've also got a Pro Tools unit sitting in Morgan's Freeman Club recording the stage in the club. And I'm running back and forth between the two, both Saturday and Sunday, trying to record all these bands because I didn't have anybody working with me. It was just me. That was it. I was doing it myself. Of course, that was when I was a lot younger and in a lot better shape, and I could do it.
Still just as handsome, though.
Credit.
Oh, man. But there was some great music. God, I ran into some people that I would love to put out. I guess maybe I should go in and mix down some of that stuff because there were a couple artists that I ran across that were just incredible. But because the blues doesn't get a lot of radio airplay and a lot of push, and there aren't a lot of radio stations, you see phenomenal players that are only regionally successful.
That's
You know,
unfortunate.
it really is. You know, Lucky Peterson, I did an album with him. Lucky's pretty famous. I mean, Lucky couldn't get arrested in Dallas. I mean, it's one of those deals. This is his hometown. He plays for 200-300 people. He goes to France. He plays 5,000-6,000
carpet.
people. Yeah, red carpet treatment,
yeah.
the whole bit.
Yeah.
They're huge over there.
A lot of guys is like that. Howlin' Wolf's guitar player. What the heck is his name? Anyway, Howlin' Wolf's guitar player. He's a big star in Europe. Big star. Here, he couldn't get, he couldn't get work in Chicago and that, a local, hole in the wall.
Hubert Sumlin?
Hubert Sumlin, yes, sir. Great blues. You take all that old, like Howlin' Wolf, the London sessions and all like that. That's Hubert Sumlin back there setting the pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he had his own style. Taught himself to play while he was driving the tractor. That was his job on the plantation. He was a tractor driver and taught himself to play the guitar while he was driving.
Steering one foot, playing with the other.
Multitasking.
Yeah.
Multitasking before it was multitasking.
Absolutely.
Boy,
Why don't
I've
you
seen
guys
that
go ahead
before.
and play us off because we're
We're a
going
little
to
over.
close up the show tonight.
All right.
It's been great having you on again, Goldtop.
Great having you, sir. Thank you.
It's awesome to
Thank you
have
for
you guys
blessing us
play.
with your music.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Tony.
Thanks for having
Thanks,
me.
Kronik, for showing up.
Oh,
and
you
being
make
here.
it sound like...
No. The reason I say that is because this poor guy has to drive on the freeway and get here and try to get here on time for the show. So,
And
I'm
I
glad
got
he
the
got here
next
on
2
time.
Fridays off because I got some gigs in Reno that got to make some money, got to pay some bills. But then
So it'll just
for the
be
rest of
My
the
Ugly
summer, we're
Mug.
back at it.
It'll just be My Ugly Mug and Tony Smith and our musical guest, because we do have some musical guests booked for the next 2
I'll
Fridays.
broadcast in remotely.
Yeah, we'll hook you up somehow. That way we can turn you off when we don't want to talk to you.
There you go.
That's all right. Sunday night, who we got on Sunday night on the show? Do you remember? Oh, that's right.
Kippy Love.
Kippy Love is coming back.
My
That's
man.
right.
Can't wait
All
to see
right.
him.
Keep it up.
Kippy
All right.
Love, who I love and worked with a long time ago. So Kippy Love is on the show Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the
There you go,
captain.
boss.
That's Kronik
There you
getting
go.
up, hanging out with
Thanks, man. Good eyes.
You got it, man.
Goldtop, and we'll let you listen to another track from Goldtop and Tony Smith.
We'll see you Sunday.
Have a great night.
Later, Las Vegas.